Hey guys, Tracy here with One Blessed Step, and today I am going to give you an update on our tiny house living budget. This is for the month of June. I am a little bit late because of the holiday and I just wanted to spend time with my family, so that's what I did. Hopefully you understand. So if you're new to the channel and you like these types of updates, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Today I am going to share how well we did in June, and I'm going to have to give you a spoiler alert. This is not good. We are not doing good on our goal to live within the average Social Security monthly check. This is a disaster. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So for those of you guys who have joined me before, you know that our goal is to live within like a budget of the average Social Security amount that people get. So we're trying to do that living in a tiny house. And one of the things we discovered last time was that it's really not going to be possible for us to do that with a mortgage. So we're going to have to really clean that up, and we know that already. But this month was even more eye-opening because there's some other expenses that we weren't thinking, well, at least that I wasn't thinking of, that have come into play, and it's just a disaster. So let's go ahead and get started. So on your screen right now, you can see that I have my expenses listed on the left-hand column. My budget is the next column, then the actuals, and then the difference. So the tiny house, our insurance is $68 a month, but that's included in our mortgage. Last month I didn't have that included in there, so I needed to make sure that I was really clear on that. So our tiny house is mortgaged, and our insurance is actually through the mortgage company. It was actually really, really difficult to find insurance for this tiny house, because this tiny house isn't quite an RV and it's not a mobile home. So many insurance companies don't really know what to do with it. We had some really bad quotes on that. We decided to go with our mortgage company, and they do our insurance on that. So they cover the tiny home, and if anything were to happen to it, it would be covered. Like if it burned up or something happened, it would be covered just like a normal home. So that's $68 a month for that insurance, and the rest of it goes to mortgage. So we found out last month that in order to retire with Social Security, we would have to pay this off. There's no way that we can do it with it. So it's even worse. Property tax is about $50 a month. I just put that into a sinking fund, and I pay that twice a year. If that goes up, that will be interesting. I don't think it's going to go up, but it might. There are some things whenever you own a tiny house, you have to decide, are you going to affix it to your property and make it part of the land, or are you going to not affix it? If you don't affix it, there's a good chance that you have to pay motor vehicle division tax, like car tax, your registration fees. And we have chosen not to affix it because over time, we believe that in Arizona, it's not that we believe, that we know, in Arizona over time, the registration goes down significantly, especially after 10 years. But property taxes always go up. So we ran the calculation. If you are interested in learning more about that, let me know, and I will do a video on that. But the calculation just after 10 years is like a no-brainer to keep it as a vehicle or a trailer in terms of the registration, and to not affix it to the property. But there are other reasons why people would want to affix it to their property, especially if they were looking at selling it in the future. That's not something that we're planning on doing. So again, you have to choose what you want to do, especially if you own your own land. Now, we own this land clear. We bought it at the end of last year, and I had a video on that so you can see that where the tiny house is. The next one is electricity. I'm budgeting $100 a month, and that's really because we're not sure what the electric bill is going to come in at, especially during the summer. So luckily, it only came in at $62.70. so that there was a little savings there. And I suspect we're going to be able to keep the electric bill under $100. This is a really surprisingly insulated tiny home. The two mini splits that are in here work really well, and the way we have it facing the sun, the heat of the sun really is on this side of the home, and we have cabinets and throughout this whole wall, so we don't get a lot of heat when most of the heat is coming in to the house. So that's amazing. So I think the way we set up the tiny house, and now obviously having the refrigerator right next, where there's a lot of heat is a problem, because then it has to generate more electricity to keep cool. But the insulation is good. I mean, it's not like you can put your hand, it's not warm at all. So I think they did a good job insulating this tiny house. It's much better than the RV. I can tell you that 100% sure. Like this, you could not stay here in Arizona, in Tucson, in an RV and be comfortable without running a separate AC unit inside your RV. Like the RV AC units don't do well. Ask me how I know. We tried. The next one is propane. We had bought propane a couple months ago. We bought plenty of it. So it seems to be going well. I haven't ran out of a tank yet to have to go get a new one. So that's probably going to happen this month though. We'll see. So that was $0. Yay. The internet was $120. We use Starlink here. It's an outrageous fee to get any other internet where I live. I live in a rural community, and just to even get the hard wire to my property for internet through a local provider, I think my portion was $5,000. So we opted for Starlink. The next one is the water bill. I am really excited to see the water bill at only $14.58. I think there must be some, as part of that $14, that's usually mostly the fee. I think there's something in there that allows us to have a certain amount of gallons of water every month. So I'm going to have to check into that, because it's been $14.58 for the last couple months, which is great. Trash is $19.68. My cell phone bill is $50. We use Visible, so it just is a flat $50 for 2 phones. Now, my groceries are a little high this month. I am going to try to do some discount food shopping this month and see how well I do. See if I can't get that bill a lot lower than that. Our budget was $700. We came in at almost $800 on that. So I am going to try a discount food. Now, part of this, the reason why it was up so high, is Lonnie actually was able to do a kind of a blood test. Not kind of, 100% for sure. He did a blood test to find out what he is sensitive to or allergic to. So we have had to make drastic changes to his diet this month. And so that some of that means we buy something more expensive. And also, I am trying to eat more clean as best I can, but I'm working on it. So all to say, our bill was about $96 more than we wanted it to be. The next one is restaurants. The good news is that we didn't go out that much this month. So really, we offset the grocery bill with our restaurant bill. So our restaurant bill is budgeted at $200 a month. It came in at $71. And so we were good for $129. So between the groceries and the restaurants in terms of food, we satisfied the budget. But I like to kind of check out between the two of them. I like to know what is the groceries and what am I going out and buying from a restaurant or from a fast food place. We don't really go out a lot. Some of the places we like to go out to is if we're driving and visiting people, we'll usually stop by a gas station. Here in Arizona, it's called the Circle K, and we just get sodas. And those are usually 80 cents, or if we're hungry, we'll get a hot dog, and then usually you can get a hot dog for $2. So we don't spend a lot on restaurants. Sometimes we like to go to the In-N-Out Burger, and that now we know that Lonnie's not doing fries anymore, so now it's just burgers. So it'll be cheaper moving forward. We actually don't go out a lot in restaurants. And if we do, like if we're taking out our family, we try to use gift cards that we get from reward points from our credit cards. So we try to keep that down, that expense down in that way. The next one is car insurance. This one was such a bummer. I knew that the car insurance was going up, and every year we pay the bill all at once, but in the budget I put it in monthly. So I had been budgeting based on last year's car insurance bill. So I had been budgeting $200 a month. So the car insurance went up, gosh, almost $1,300, maybe more than that. Yeah, it went up over $1,000 a year now. So I was really disappointed in that. We tried to get it down. We work with a broker. Every year he gets it down. This year he could not get it down. So this was the first year in like 20 years that we haven't been able to get one quote and then get a cheaper quote. So this was the cheapest we could get. And so it's up another $100 a month, which is, if you're trying to live under $4,000 a month, $100 a month is devastating. So, losing $100 or being off by $100 can be devastating. So that was a bummer. But we did do well in our gas budget. So I always budget about $300 a month. Now I have a hybrid car, and it doesn't use as much gas. And so we try to use that whenever we can. And I usually fill it up about once a month. But sometimes we travel, we go see people, and we try to use the cheapest car for that. So $239 is not bad. We were positive 61. So I think $300 is fair, especially with gas prices as low as they are right now, which is great. And then we always try to use either the Gas Buddy to get basically gift cards back when we buy gas. If we're near the Costco, we'll get Costco gas. So we're always trying to save money on gas as best we can. Now the next one is what really just threw off the budget. This one was the car registration. Oh my goodness. I had no idea that the van, so we have a van, and when I say cars, I have 2 cars in a van, and the van is what we travel in. The van came in at $2,040 for car registration this year. And I just had not budgeted for that. So that one was a kicker. And I was so surprised at how high it was. So I looked into it. Why is the van $2,000? Well, it turns out that even though we bought the van for less than $100,000, the manufacturing retail price on the van was $165,000. So in Arizona, the motor vehicle division doesn't care what you paid for the car. It cares what the MSRP is. So they go off of the MSRP, even if you negotiated a cheaper price. So because the van is worth $165,000, even though right now if I was trying to sell it, I could probably only get $70,000 for it. They do a calculation on it every year, and then they'll drop it. So next year, the valuation of the van will be like maybe $120,000 from $160,000. And so my registration will be not $2,000, but maybe it'll be $1,900. So even though the van's like quickly depreciating, it doesn't really, the Arizona motor vehicle doesn't depreciate it as fast as it's actually depreciating. So that was a huge eye-opener for us, and something for you to consider as you think through your vehicles in the future. I had no idea it would be this high. When you're buying a vehicle, one of the things you have to look at is registrations. And believe me, we did. I was like, okay, well, I'm only paying, $85 or whatever, under $90. Plus, I traded in a car for the van. And so our out-of-pocket cost was like $50,000 or something like that on the van. So as I was thinking about like how much it cost me to buy the van, I hadn't really thought about the MSRP. So I was thinking the registration was going to come in at $600 or maybe $700. I did not. When I saw the bill, I was flabbergasted. So when you're buying a van that you want to travel in, think about or know what the MSRP is, or what the appropriate value of the vehicle is, so you can kind of estimate what your insurance is going to be and what your registration is going to be. I was good on insurance was good. It went up like everybody else's insurance went up, but the registration caught me off guard by the tune of $1,790. So that was disappointing, obviously. The next thing, medical insurance. Lonnie and I pay for medical insurance. That's $500 a month. Medical prescriptions. Now, this one really got us. Now, not unintentionally. So obviously I'm failing at living in a Social Security budget. I'm failing miserably. But again, you can't get better at something unless you work at it. And so that's part of the exercise that I do every month, is I go, okay, even if it's not realistic, how low can I get this? How, efficient can I be with my spending? What are some things I can do to make things, cheaper? What lessons am I learning so that when I finally retire, whenever that's going to be, which I don't even know anymore, I will have an idea of what it's going to cost. And whether or not we actually do live off of Social Security or not, that's not the exercise. The exercise is, can I do it? Because that would be really nice, but not, and live a decent life. And so far, the answer has been no for us. So the challenge is, how do you get there? And maybe we're not going to get there, but maybe we are. And I can't go into retirement not knowing what things cost and not knowing what I'm going to have when I don't have an income anymore. So this is really good exercise to really think through. And as disappointing as some of the numbers can be, I think it's really helpful to kind of think through some things. Now, in terms of like life, I do have savings. It's just getting eaten into significantly. Let me know if you're having problems too. It just seems like lately things are out of control. So for medical prescriptions, we did end up getting glasses this month. So our part of this, I had $100. Obviously that's not enough. For this month, me and Lonnie bought glasses. So we both had prescription changes. I got progressives. I do have contacts in, but I'm not really using them as much as I used to, because I really like the progressive glasses, because then I don't have to, right now with contacts, if I'm reading something like my phone, I have to go get readers. But if I'm just wearing my progressives, I don't have to change my glasses. I don't have to go find readers. So I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to be done with contacts, but we'll see. Anyways, eyeglasses were $472. So that was really disappointing. But we needed them, so I got them. And so we didn't stay within our budget at all. We were minus $527. Then we had medical copays. So even next month's going to be a killer for me. I'm going to need to see a specialist for something going on, like a serious specialist. So we'll see. And that specialist is not covered under my insurance. So my out-of-pocket cost for the consult is $500. So I already know next month this is going to be blown. So I'll have to, figure out what to do. But my medical copays this month were $227. The budget was $100, and we are short $127. Such a bummer. I wish I had really good news. So I guess the good news is we didn't buy any household and personal items. We didn't buy any new things for the home. So we saved $100 there. There's the good news. Entertainment, our budget was $100. We did spend $200. We took the kids to a escape room, and that was expensive. So we had a lot of fun. It was a blast. And it was Ashton's birthday last month, so that's what we wanted to do to celebrate it. For pets, my budget's $400. I know it can be up to $600. So Lonnie and I have been working diligently to keep the pet food costs low because we make all of our pets' food. So that was $413, which is close enough to $400 for me. I expect that to go up, but we might be able to do better by going to a discount food store. So we'll see how that goes. Clothes, it was $257. I don't know what I bought. So that's something, again, I need to be working on to get that lower. I actually think I bought I bought a pair of Lululemon shorts and pants or something like that. So again, not the most appropriate thing to buy when you're on a budget. So again, it's just something I wanted to treat myself. It was such a difficult month, this month and last month. And I was just like, oh, I'd like to get a new pair of pants. And yeah. Something to consider for the future. Gifts was great. We stayed under our budget of $100, so we only spent $91. For charity, my budget's $395. I spent $176. I do give I give the rest of it at the end of the year. So we were short on giving this month in terms of actually giving out, and we will be short until December, and that's when I give out all the most of it, the lot of it. And the next thing is the gym. I budget $25. I'm under a plan right now that allows me to have it for $14. So I saved $11, and obviously there's no money left over. So there's no emergency fund this month at all. There hasn't been. So my estimated total expenses were $5,106, which we knew that was going to be higher than my Social Security estimate because it's almost higher as much as a mortgage. So if we didn't have a mortgage, and I think that's kind of one of the lessons we are learning, is that the mortgage has to be paid off if we want to live on Social Security. We would have been only off by less than $10. So our budget would have been only off by $10, which is manageable. I think we can do, that's easy. And then of course, in retirement, we know we're not going to have pets. Like if that's probably, we'll maybe get one, and then we'll be able to make it without a mortgage with Social Security. So that's like the lesson that we're learning, is that insurance, medical bills, those are things that are going to not go away. And as we go into retirement, we can say, well, maybe we just get one pet or maybe a small dog, but not ones that are known for problems. Like our English bulldogs, we adopted both of them. We knew they had problems. We knew they were expensive. We did not know we would have to make their food in order for one of them not to have a complete allergy attack and lose all his hair. So he has to be fed what we make him. That's the only way we can reduce his inflammation. My smaller one, Atari, she doesn't have that problem, so she could have kibble. We just want to treat them both equally. So that's why we do spend the money on her food as well. We did try a new brand this month. We tried Spot and Tango, which is an unkibble, and it has all of the things that we put in our dog's food, but it's in a convenient kibble form. And within the first week, our older dog, Tank, was inflamed in his ears. So we immediately switched him back to the food that we make ourselves, and then let Atari finish off the unkibble and canceled our subscription. Now that was not cheaper, it was just more convenient. And it looked like, when I was looking at all of the ingredients, it looked really clean for the dogs. It's just Tank needs something else. He needs to have what we make him specifically. So that is what kills our pet budget every month. So we know that if we need to live on Social Security in retirement, we have to get a small dog that doesn't eat as much and a breed that does not have as many problems, or we're going to have to figure it out on our budget. So those are lessons, right? That's the whole point of this experiment. This experiment is to go through and go, okay, I'm planning for retirement. Here's what it's like to live under Social Security. Can I make it? And if I can't make it, what do I need to do today to be able to make it? So if we're looking at what am I going to need to do today in order to make it, my total expenses actually came out at $7,400, which is a lot. So we were short $3,481. So without a mortgage, that still would have put us short $2,266. $2,266.96. So close to $2,300 is what we were short. So I'm really going to have to figure out and readjust the budget. I think at the end of the year, I'm going to do a roundup, and that will give me like total annual expenses. And then I'll redo the budget maybe and try this again. I'll be doing this for the rest of this year for sure. I just don't have a good feeling on what that number should be annually. So hopefully this is helpful to you and in some way encourages you to plan for your retirement. If you have ideas on things I can do to reduce my expenses, I would love to hear them. And I hope you have a very blessed day. I'll see you next month. Hopefully it's better next month. We already know that the medical bills are not going to be better, but the car registration bills will be better. And so we're going to hang our hats on that. All right. Love you. Bye.